Okay, amen. We are talking about worship at a central sanctuary. If you was watching me for video number 12, right? He was talking about centralized or sacrifices, right? That was the title for number 2 for chapter 12. So, worship at a central sanctuary take place between Deuteronomy 12 verse 8 to Deuteronomy 12 verse 27. From verse 8 to 27, right? So the video is going to be real short. I'm not going to go through all that. Just short. Now, worship at the central sanctuary. The centralization, right, of sacrifice is Deuteronomy's most distinctive demand. Okay? Sacrificial worship was to take place only at a single central sanctuary at a location to be chosen by the Lord. Okay? Now, Deuteronomy 12, verse 5. Let me read that for you. But you shall seek the place that the Lord your God will choose out of your tribe as a habitation to put his name there. You shall go there. Okay? Now, verse 11. Then you shall bring everything that I command you to the place that the Lord your God will choose as a dwelling for his name, your burnt offering and your sacrifices, your tithes and your donation, and all your choice motive gift that you vow to the Lord. Verse 14. But only at the place that the Lord will choose in one of your tribe, there you shall offer your burnt offering, and there you shall do everything that I command you. 18. These you shall eat in the presence of the Lord your God, at the place that the Lord your God will choose you, together with your sons and your daughter, your male and female slave, and the Levites' residents in your town, rejoicing in the presence of the Lord your God in all your undertaking. 26, verse 26, right? But the sacred donation that are due from you and your motive gift you shall bring to the place that the Lord will choose. Okay? So the single central sanctuary, right, is at a location to be chosen by the Lord. You see that in Deuteronomy 12, verse 5, verse 11, 14, 18, and 26. Okay? Now, earlier practice had permitted sacrifices at many local altars scattered around the country. Right? Many local altars that was scattered around the country, right? So people were allowed to do altar, to do sacrifice, to practice anywhere. But you could see that, okay? Go back to old school, to Exodus 20, verse 24. Exodus 20, verse 24. He said, you need make for me an altar of earth and sacrifice on it your burnt offering and your offering of well-being, your sheep and your oxen, in every place where I cause my name to be remembered, I will come to you and bless you. Right? In every place where I cause my name to be remembered, I will come to you and bless you. So that means there was many other places throughout, right, the town, throughout the country, that God would ask them to make a sacrifice, make an altar for him there. Okay? We see that. So they were scattered throughout the country. But God is saying right now, I want you to worship me at a central location, one single specific location. So all these little places didn't have to take place anymore. Now, in Deuteronomy, never identifies the site of this central sanctuary. He never tell you where exactly this central sanctuary is in the book of Deuteronomy. Okay? This radical reform was imposed on Judah by King Josiah. Okay? Who considered Jerusalem to be the Lord's chosen place. Now, it's talk about that on Second King. Second King. Open up to book 23. And then we're going to end for the night. Book 23. Chapter 23. We're going to concentrate only on verse 4 to 20. Only verse 4 to 20. The king commanded the high priest Hilkiah, the priest of the second order, and the guardian of the threshold, to bring out to the temple of the Lord all the vessels made for Baal, for Asherah, and for all the hosts of heaven. He burned them outside Jerusalem in the field of the Kidron, and carried their ashes to Bethel. 5. He deposed the idolatrous priests whom the king of Judah had ordained to make offering to the high places at the city of Judah and around Jerusalem. Those also who made offering to Baal, to the sun, the moon, and the constellation, and all the hosts of the heaven. 6. He brought out the image of Asherah from the house of the Lord outside Jerusalem to the Wadi Kidron, burn it at the Wadi Kidron, beat it to dust, and throw the dust of it upon the grave of the common people. 7. He broke down the house of the male temple prostitute that were in the house of the Lord, where the woman did weaving for Asherah. 8. He brought all the priests out of the town of Judah and defiled the high place where the priests had made offering, from Jeba to Beersheba. He broke down the high place of the gates that were at the entrance of the gate of Joshua, the governor of the city, which were on the left at the gate of the city. 9. The priests of the high place however, did not come up to the altar of the Lord in Jerusalem, but ate unleavened bread among their kindred. 10. He defiled Tophet, which is in the valley of Ben Hinnom, so that no one would make a son or daughter pass through fire as an offering to Malesh. 11. He removed the horses that the kings of Judah had dedicated to the sun at the entrance of the house of the Lord by the chamber of the eunuch Nathan Melesh, which was in the prison. Then he burned their chariot of the sun by fire. 22. The 12, verse 12. The altar of the roof of the upper chamber of Ahaz, which the king of Judah had made, and the altar that Manasseh had made in the true court of the house of the Lord, he pulled down from there and broke in pieces, and threw the rubbles into the Wadi Kidron. 13. The king defiled the high places that were east of Jerusalem to the south of the mount of destruction, which King Solomon of Israel had built for Ashtaroth, the abomination of the Sidonian, for Shemosh, the abomination of Moab, and for Milcom, the abomination of the Hammonites. 14. He broke the pillar in pieces, cut down the sacred pole, and covered the site with human bones. Okay. Moreover, verse 15, the altar at Bethel, the high place erected by Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who caused Israel to sin, he pulled down that altar along with the high place. He burned the high place, crushed it to dust. He also burned the sacred pole. As Josiah turned, he saw the tomb there on the mount, and he went and he sent and took the bones out of the tomb and burned them on the altar and defiled it according to the word of the Lord that the man of God proclaimed. When Jeroboam stood by the altar at the festival, he turned and looked up at the tomb of the man of God who had predicted these things. 17. Then he said, "What is that monument that I see?" The people of the city told him, "It is the tomb of the man of God who came from Judah and predicted these things that you have done against the altar at Bethel." 18. He said, "Let him rest, let no one move his bone." So they let his bone alone, with the bones of the prophet who came out of Samaria. However, 19, Josiah removed all the shrine of the high place that were in the towns of Samaria, which kings of Israel had made, provoking the Lord to anger. He did to them just as he had done to Bethel, verse 20. He slaughtered on the altar all the priests of the high place who were there and burned human bones on them. Then he returned to Jerusalem. Okay? Oh, I cannot wait to do the review on 23. Yes, can't wait to do the review on 23. Okay? Now, let me give you since we only did a little bit of 23. Ooh, 23. No. I'll wait to do a review of Second King because it's very good. It's very, very good. Very, very good. I do a separate video on that soon just for you. Okay? It's very good. Anyway, may the Lord keep you, bless you, protect you, watch over you, and keep you safe. Amen. Till we meet again next time. Amen. Because it's getting good. We learn about worship at Essential Sanctuary. Your reference for worship for this video is on Deuteronomy 12 verse 8 to verse 27. We concentrated on verse 5, verse 11. You should have said verse 5. You know, 12 verse 5, but really verse 8. But verse 5, 11, 20, 11, 14, 18, 26, Exodus 20, verse 24, 2 King 23, verse 4 to 20, 2 King 23, verse 4 to 20, Exodus 20, verse 24, Deuteronomy 12, 5, verse 5, 11, 14, 18, and 26. But on your own, read verse 8 to 27. Okay? That's our main thing. If you didn't listen to Deuteronomy, to the video for Deuteronomy 12, which goes into another in-depth detail for centralized or sacrifice, please do so. It's also being posted right now. Okay? May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord watch over you. Amen? And keep you safe. Peace. Shalom. Please share the video. I can say that. Share the video, follow us, and also donate to our ministry. And donate through your prayer, to your time. Amen? And donate financially to our ministry so we could have funds to keep doing what we do best and also to help those in need. Amen. Peace. Shalom.